Hello awesome people of YouTube and welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2. This is going to be game number 1 between our Zerg player FireCake and his opponent the Protoss player ShoWTime. So this is going to be played on runes of Seras, and just as usual for the start, let's start with a bit of details. ShoWTime, he's currently on Team Millennium and he's from Germany, and FireCake currently on Team Euronics Gaming and he's from France. So as you can see here, doing an early extractor trick also here before putting out an Overlord. So that is something we actually don't see that often these days. Now both players do opt to scout out in the correct direction from the very beginning. Now funny enough, this Overlord, while not going to be making it to the base, may just spot this. I'm not sure if he spotted that. That's quite interesting actually. Now he'll definitely be able to see it now that the drone is passing by. So at this point he knows he does not need to really... Well, I suppose if the Overlord didn't scout it, then yeah, he would still not be aware whether it's to the left or to the north. So that's actually quite interesting. Now it looks like FireCake might actually be interested in a double expansion quite early on, which is definitely something you don't see very often when you get scouted out this early. It would be a little bit risky, but at the same time, with the fact that Protoss is not a very aggressive race right now, it would kind of indicate that that he's pretty much trusting in ShoWTime's ability to not rush and basically macro up at the start. Not really ability, but more like just politeness, really. I mean, whenever you see a rush, you're like, "Oh, you scum!" If you don't mind me saying, like that's literally exactly what you think when somebody rushes you, and it's not a very pleasant experience at all, both for casting, both for playing. I mean, the rushes can be exciting to cast, but at the same time it finishes the game very fast. I mean, you either lose or win from that point on. It very rarely goes on to a very long match after that. So spawning pool is coming down, of course, after the double expand. Now one thing I'm still to see is a triple expansion at the very beginning before a pool. That would be absolutely ballsy as hell, and the first player that does it in the pro scene I will absolutely commend, and I will reach out to them and say, well, the hell done. That is pretty awesome, and very, very big cojones on you for trying that out. So quite interesting here, double gateway before its cybernetic score. Getting a double adept out, very typical actually for ShoWTime to do that, and in fact a lot of Protoss players will opt to get a double gateway before the cybernetic score. That way they can bring out these adepts, and they're very, very efficient at taking out both drones and the Zergs that do, Zerglings that come out shortly after. So it does look like 3 Queens coming out straight away, which is quite typical. Does look like the saturation is quickly going down, so in terms of income he's probably going to be skyrocketing past ShoWTime very, very soon, as soon as he gets more of the drones. For now, ShoWTime is going to be okay since he's only able to produce so many probes at once, but that will begin to show the difference very, very shortly. So the adepts are now in the second expansion, which was actually his first expansion taken. Is going to bring him in here. He's going to see if he's going to be able to get anything out of it. I do believe... Oh, he actually cancelled his blink. So there we go. Bringing back the drones. 1 gets taken out. 2 get taken out. No damage has been done as of yet to these adepts. They're still alive. Perfectly fine. Does manage to snipe. And a 4th one doesn't get killed here. So where did these guys go to? They did actually get out. Now, just to note, there is no metabolic boost being produced for FireCake at the moment, so these adepts are actually quite safe to do a bit of harassment while the Zerglings are still slow. They'll be able to use their psionic shift, or I think that's what it's called. Yes, it is, psionic transfer rather, and they'll be able to use that quite safely until metabolic boost does come up. So it looks like a robotics bay coming out. It's actually quite early. 4 minutes 20 is a very early robotics bay. May see some disruptors slash, well, I don't really see Colossus being on the field because that's quite rare right now. It does have 4 gases in total, which is also quite okay. No interest for a third base as of yet. This Overlord would scout out a third base pretty much as soon as it's up. It would actually scout out this one as well, because there would be a visible probe going out. Now these are 3 gateways, so in total we are going to have 7 gateways after these are also complete. Okay, so it does appear that we have improved movement speed for War Prism. Now I do think this is going to result in some nice disruptor drop play. I haven't seen too much of this lately, to be honest. It's been mostly Adepts and Zealots being dropped in. So hopefully going to see... Oh, there we go. We do have a Colossus on the way. That's something you don't see every day. But at the same time, a Spire is actually being produced here by FireCake, which again is something that I haven't seen in quite a while. Where the hell is that Spire? Oh, sneaky play. Very well done here. Look at this. Hiding this Spire completely off the grid. Now this is going to be very, very beneficial for him in terms of being able to hide this until it's too late to respond. Colossus, of course, cannot fire at air. He does have a few Adepts, a few Sentries, which are terrible against Mutalisk, and just 2 Stalkers at the moment. 3 Stalkers. So overall, it's going to be extremely difficult for ShoWTime to actually deal with the Mutalisks here. And the Colossus here as well. Let's have a quick look at that. 12 damage times 2. Honestly, I don't see the purpose of Colossus right now. They are so damn weak. 24 damage in total onto an enemy, which if the enemy has 1 armor, that's already down to 22, because it does reduce for 1 damage for every hit. Now these Mutalisks are about to get revealed. Not quite sure if he wants to be doing that. Is he going to throw down... he does throw down 5 Stalkers, so that's quite interesting. So obviously at this point he is preparing for it. Now there is a big engage going on here. Now looking at the army tabs, that's the wrong one. Army supply, it does favor ShoWTime at the moment actually. So FireCake is in a difficult position, but at the same time not that many anti-air units here. So the Mutalisks could potentially do a little bit of damage and then waddle on away. I do think he still needs to get a lot more units to defend against this. So 15 roaches were produced there, a big chunk, gonna be able to defend a lot. On the other hand, 18 drones have already been taken out here, so this is quite dangerous for him at this point. He is gonna be falling behind an economy. If ShoWTime decides to expand out of this, it'll go completely south for him. But as you can see, very quickly cleaning these units up with all of these roaches that he managed to produce. 28 drones have been destroyed, so while he is in a good position now to counterattack, at the same time he'll definitely want to drone up as fast as possible, because 2 of his bases have effectively been shut down for a very short period of time, assuming that he's... There we go, 6 drones are on the way now. Is expanding off the back of this as well. So FireCake doing a very ballsy move right now. If we do see any sort of drop play right now, again, if she shuts down another base, that'll be quite dangerous to be expanding off. So it looks like Disruptor's being produced now rather than Colossus. Again, I can't agree with Colossus play right now. It just, they're not that strong, and Disruptors seem to be a lot more effective because they have that absolute huge burst which can potentially one-shot, you know, up to 5-6 units. Now there's 1 observer remaining. There was no Overseer on the map to help take it out. It is actually there now. There we go. This is going to spot a lot actually. So he's going to see the Spire, and he is going to be able to see the hatchery. So Mutalisk is going to start chasing it down. What's actually in here? 4 Adepts. So that's quite okay. It does look like ShoWTime is not taking up anything. He's just deciding to produce more units. Perhaps I would, if it was me now, I would probably get level 1 weapons before moving out. That would be quite effective for him. But at the same time, these guys are the pros. They know what they're doing, and I won't argue with that. There we go. He has quite a significant army at this point. The supply counts are similar, but don't forget that FireCake has 4 bases. So a lot of the supply will count as drones. Not all, but a lot of it. So let's bring that up very quickly. Supply for army is very similar. Now, just to mention, Zerg typically wants to have more army supply because their units are a little bit squishier. Oh my god, this Purification Nova. It did miss a few units there towards the end, but it still did quite significant damage. I think it took out about 3 or 4 roaches there. Is trying to take out that warp prison, but I don't think he's going to be able to snipe that out. Gonna want to back off from these disruptors now. More units being warped in now. This is very, very dangerous. He's right on the doorstep. These Adepts getting psionic transferred right into the mineral line. Is he going to try to take them out when they pop? He is indeed. And there we go. More units coming in here. It is Ravagers. A few Roaches and the Mutalisks are sitting behind here, actually trying to catch out that Disruptor, which I suppose is probably a very good option for them to do. Now, no probes or no drones have been killed at this time. Just starting to kill them now because he pulled them off the line to attack. And again, this is still favoring ShoWTime, I believe, at the moment. His units are in quite good shape, despite the fact that they're getting nuked from pretty much every direction. Now, the Warp Prism is just about alive here, still not destroyed by those Mutalisks, and I do believe the Mutalisks have been all taken out at this point. And is FireCake going to be able to hold on here? It does appear that he has enough units to hold on to here. These Stalkers are going to have to back off there. They've pretty much all used up their shields, and with the Blink ability, micro, you know, they regen a little bit of shields and then they can engage again, but that has all been depleted as well. So just a few heading on back now. An expansion here from ShoWTime now gets denied by the Zergling, also quite interesting. So there should be an observer here somewhere. It's actually over here. Is ShoWTime going to bring it out? Oh, he actually doesn't quite see it. He didn't select it, and he's building up another one instead. So FireCake doing a very, very good play. The purpose of this, by the way, is to spot that ShoWTime is now finishing his aggression, and he wants to essentially expand off the back of that. Now, these Stalkers have done a little bit of damage in the base here. Not that much. The drones did get pulled off in time. Brings them into this base. Roach is already prepared and waiting here. Doesn't really seem to be interested in destroying the Spire. He understands at this point that the Mutalisk surprise has concluded, really. So at this point, not much that the Mutalisk can do unless he gets a big massive army of them. But at the same time, by the time he does that, ShoWTime would also have quite a large army of potentially Phoenixes or anti-air. Such as Stalkers, that is. Now there is an Immortal up on the field now. There's a second one being produced. A wasted Chrono Boost on that Robotics Bay right now. Is making Zealot legs as well, so I think he might result in doing a few Zealot drops. Or maybe he'll just incorporate them into his main army. This base finally starting to get saturated also. And the army supply is heavily starting to favour our Zerg play here. Now, funny enough, this Observer is in the perfect time. Gonna finally spot this Observer over his army. Mutalisk, you could be useful here. Take out that Observer. There it is. Gonna use it to destroy the Observer finally. Gonna probably get it taken out before it reaches the base again. And there we go, the huge engage. There is an Archon in this army as well. Immortals and Archons are going to be doing significant damage to these Roaches, but at the same time, the constant reinforcements from the Zerg is going to be stringing in here. More and more units being just tunneled in here, and this is going to possibly end very badly for ShoWTime. That early aggression didn't quite pay off after a 3-base Zerg beginning, but we're still continuing on here. Wow, look at this, 30 supply difference now. ShoWTime still believes he has a chance here, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he does. I mean, his army is about equivalent right now at the front here. Obviously, as you can see, FireCake has a more significant army, but they're still in the base and waddling their way over here. And the worker supply also is favoring ShoWTime. So, looking at this, there's about... he has more workers than he has supply for army. So further aggression going off here from FireCake. And he is kind of getting surrounded by these overcharged pylons. Not a very good option for him to be right in the middle of those, taking massive damage. Let's have a look how many kills they have at the moment. Oh, it doesn't actually show. That's interesting. Oh, correction. It does show if there is kills. If there's not, then it doesn't. So one pylon with 3 and the other one had... sorry, one with 3 got destroyed, one with 2 remaining. And here we go, further damage now. Again, more reinforcements streaming in here from the Zerg, from pretty much every one of his base. Further, more and more Roaches. I think if he snipes this Nexus or destroys all these workers, ShoWTime is going to have no other option but to GG out. But again, he is holding on. Does look like he's about to make another Archon here. There it is on the way. One Immortal here. Not going to be able to do much by itself. While it does do a crazy amount of damage, so many units against it will be able to do crazy damage. So here we go, these units have now burrowed away, gonna be spotted by the Observer, gonna want to probably move away from here altogether and bring out his reinforcements first. So looking at the supply, the Zerg player has such a higher supply right now, but because he is so spread out, he's not quite able to do much about it. Now there we go, there is a lot of, or rather just a few drones getting taken out here by the Zealot drop. Nothing too significant, but as you can see, 17 probes have been destroyed in total in this engage for ShoWTime. So Again, further aggression onto the main base here. This has now been cleaned up, just to mention that. I didn't actually bring the camera over there earlier, but one Archon gets taken out, second Archon also getting taken out, third Archon gets destroyed. Nothing is now standing that's very significant in the front of this base. Manages to destroy this but actually also damaging himself with the Ravager. Corrosive Biles is now inside the natural base, starting to do a little bit of building damage, and GG is called by ShoWTime. That is game number 1 between FireCake and ShoWTime. By the way, this is a best of 5, and that means that we're going to be moving on to game number 2, which we're going to see how it's going to pan out. Obviously, we want to get the maximum games, which is 5 out of pretty much every series. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but if it does, pretty damn awesome. But I won't keep you here too long now. My subscription details are on the right hand side. Subscribe button's right beneath my face, underneath the video. Also, if you're on a desktop, please click those. Don't be one of those people that just bookmarks the webpage, because that's not really beneficial to either of us. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Good luck, have fun, take care, bye bye.